I welcome you to a video that will be non-guide to builds, but instead a big dive into the world of new reality of the patch 1203 of Grim Dawn. I didn't read all the notes about balance changes and noticed only some major changes. But that you read and that you actually feel in the game are two big differences. First of all, there are some changes in raid boss mechanics, and this video is a small guide to the world of new super bosses such as Ravager of Mines and Callagadra. You may find it useful as understanding what to do with all that happened with this balance. So I'll start with mentioning about tactics, how to beat both, and we'll end with an analysis of a new Grim Dawn balance. We have here on the screen Ravager of Mines, and there is a lot of changes in it. Now he has a nullification to time ability, and that's a huge change that actually creates a lot of problems. Every time he casts his spine of waves on the ground, this totem appears near him. Totem drops Nullify, charge, and you get shut down all buffs for 5 seconds. Then all hours recharge automatically. What does it mean on practice? If you non-defense build on huge DPS and you get nullified, there is a very big chance that you will die. On practice that means that you have even less space for a mistake. Is it hardcore? Yes, it is hardcore. Now let's scale this with a new resist balance that actually feels like all resist mechanics are less useful, and we will get in a total even less space for a mistake. That's too crazy and I don't like it, but I'll say about this later. So, new nullified totems spawns very frequently. Their charges fly not fast over the field, but on a big distance, and large amount of totems that shoot you multiple times creates too much problems, so mostly all fight is just running on a big distance from a group of totem. That causes another large problem. All melee or range builds that uses direct damage will suffer a lot from huge DPS loss, as you do not have time to stand on the place and beat Ravager. That makes battle like hit and run with a big chance of painful death. Also, this increases the total time you need to spend on boss fight. Actually, in my opinion, that's a stupid changes. Yes, the fight should be harder with super bosses, but the price is too high. You have a build with ultra rare items you farmed. With all that legendary stuff you spend thousands of hours to polish your build, and you will not be rewarded. You are vulnerable and weak. Well, I say only about my ultimate build, as yes, it was so before this patch. That changed me a lot. My mortality was the price of the time I spent on this game and this build. Now let's talk what builds actually can beat it normally. Actually, dot builds on hit and run tactics are suffer much less, and this should be okay for them. Just hide behind the trees and roots or huge stones, so nullified charges will not hit you. As they interfere with obstacles, I don't know how it will affect good pet builds, but I guess less than melee or range with direct damage. My build is retaliation, so I also suffer from this new Ravager of Mines. I recommend to use patterns for yourself, find the best locations for you around those small area, Just count periods between his spine waves and try to avoid places with a few totems. They last long and surrounded by a few of them, and Ravager is almost 100% of death. Now I want to talk about resistances. As you all know, before the patch, there was a big difference between stats of 80% fire resist plus overcap at 100%, for example. In total, that means you have 180% of strong defense, monsters reducing your resist, and their resist reduction effects was scaling on character. And for example, that looks like minus 30% of fire resistant player plus minus 21% plus minus 11%. In total you will get minus 62% fire resist reduction. That not actually change your total resist because it has not fall below 80%. You still have your 180% minus 62 give you 118% that actually still overcapped. Now, with these changes where monsters resist reduction doesn't stack, life should be even easier. I say no. It feels like all this 180% you got from powerful Mies doesn't mean anything. It feels like you have 80% and get highest rare from a monster, for example minus 20%, and you got 60 fire resist. All defensive mechanics become weaker. I just feel it. On all my builds that made dramatic changes to a segment of builds that has well balanced damage defense, they become much weaker and I don't like the changes. What can I advise now? Forget about defensive builds, they will not help you to live safely. But if you want still play some tank builds, I recommend paying attention to shield mechanics and blocking. This is still strong. Forget about huge health bar and overcapped resists. That not looks good right now. At least over 30-40% will be okay. This is the time of truly glass cannon builds with super life steal and huge damage that can clean all in seconds, or melee builds that much more focused on huge damage. Average or defensive builds are useless, I can tell in some tests on Crucible. They just not clean them. That's my opinion, you can have your own. Callagadra before and after patch was very dangerous. It was hard to beat her before, but now even harder than it was. Like I didn't have all this armor and physical resist. I feel much more vulnerable. I don't know if all super bosses got stat changes, but I see that I get much more damage from them. Basically with Callagadra there is no big changes in the tactics. If you melee, mostly you will move from time to time instead of fully face tanking. I do not mean all builds, but many will feel it much more harder. As for ranged builds, there is not much changes, just hit and run. Also, I don't know actually how this works, but now you get sound and visual effect on the screen, and it seems like in these moments you are much more vulnerable than before. Game now looks like signal run, and you just run. Signal run, and you run again. That's funny, only a few minutes. After that, me personally have a feeling that I play sound simulator, not the game. But when Zantai gives you that signal, just run and you will be happily alive if you were fragly build. That's all I can say for now. check out videos if you want to see how it looks like, and maybe it will help you with your tactics. Come back soon for a new 1, 2, all 3 top 7 best builds from our cool Grim Dawn community.